Our channel is 100% focused on stories like this, providing you with valuable information the media hides from you. Please, so you don't miss videos like this, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It helps our work a lot. The world of intelligence is a dark and secretive one, a place where the lines between truth and fiction are blurred, and where the most chilling rumors often turn out to be true. Among all the shadowy tales of covert operations and espionage, one program stands out as a true nightmare, a project so disturbing in its goals and so horrifying in its execution that it has become a symbol of government overreach and human experimentation. It's known as Project MKUltra, the CIA's secret program to control the human mind. The official story is that the project was a Cold War-era attempt to develop truth serums to use against Soviet spies. But the full truth, the secret truth, is far more disturbing. It's a story of a government agency that spent 2 decades systematically abusing and torturing its own citizens in a desperate and ultimately fruitless quest to master the human mind. This isn't a theory. It's a documented, undeniable fact. Project MKUltra was a real CIA program that ran from 1953 to 1973. It was an illegal and unethical human experimentation program designed to develop procedures and identify drugs that could be used during interrogations to weaken individuals, force confessions, and create a mind-controlled agent. The horrors of this program are not a matter of debate. They're a matter of historical record, though most of that record was destroyed. We are going to reveal the true horrors of MKUltra and expose the dark secret the CIA hoped would remain buried forever. The origins of a nightmare. The motivation for MKUltra was born out of fear and paranoia. In the aftermath of the Korean War, the CIA was convinced that Soviet, Chinese, and North Korean intelligence agencies had developed sophisticated mind control and brainwashing techniques, which they used to reprogram American prisoners of war. The CIA, under the direction of Allen Dulles, became obsessed with the idea of a truth serum, a substance that could be administered to an unwilling subject to make them reveal secrets. Dulles and his colleagues were driven by a desire to catch up with what they believed the Soviets were already doing. But in their panicked rush, they abandoned all pretense of ethical and legal conduct. In 1953, MKUltra was officially launched. The project's chief was Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, a chemist who became the mastermind of the CIA's most horrifying experiments. He was a brilliant but deeply disturbed man who saw human beings as nothing more than guinea pigs, tools to be used in his quest for mind-control technology. Under Gottlieb's direction, the program became a vast, sprawling operation, with around 150 sub-projects and millions of dollars funneled through front organizations to conceal the CIA's involvement. It was a secret war on the human mind, and its battlefields were hospitals, universities, prisons, and even private homes. The tools of the trade, drugs and torture. The primary tool of MKUltra was psychoactive drugs, particularly LSD. The CIA believed that LSD could be the key to unlocking the secrets of the human mind. They theorized it could be used to break down a person's personality, make them more susceptible to suggestion, and ultimately, to reprogram them. They administered high doses of LSD to test subjects, often without their knowledge or consent. These unsuspecting victims were often hospitalized patients, prisoners, or even ordinary citizens who were drugged in social situations. The CIA's agents, sometimes with the help of prostitutes, lured people to safe houses and dosed them with LSD, then watched their reactions through one-way mirrors. This particular sub-project was known as Operation Midnight Climax, but the drug experiments were just one part of the horror. The CIA's agents also experimented with a wide range of other techniques designed to manipulate and control the human mind. These included hypnosis. They explored the possibility of creating a sleeper agent, a person who could be hypnotized to carry out a mission without any conscious memory of their actions. Sensory deprivation. Subjects were placed in isolation tanks, cut off from all sound and light, in an attempt to induce psychosis and make them more vulnerable to suggestion. Electroshock therapy. They used massive, often repeated doses of electroshock, far beyond any medical standard, in an attempt to erase a person's memory and personality. Psychic driving. This was a particularly heinous technique developed by Dr. Donald Ewan Cameron, a prominent psychiatrist in Montreal who was secretly funded by the CIA. Patients were put into a drug-induced coma and forced to listen to a repeating message on a looped tape for hours, even days, on end. The goal was to de-pattern their existing personality and then repattern them with a new one. The results of these experiments were not the compliant, mind-controlled agents the CIA hoped for. Instead, they were human beings left with shattered minds, irreparable psychological damage, and a lifetime of suffering. Some subjects committed suicide, others were left with permanent brain damage, and many were institutionalized, never knowing the real cause of their suffering. The victims of MKUltra. The true horror of MKUltra lies not in its bizarre methods, but in its victims. The people who were subjected to these experiments were not enemies of the state or hardened criminals. They were often vulnerable individuals, including mental patients, drug addicts, and ordinary people who had no idea they were being used as human guinea pigs. One of the most famous cases is that of Frank Olson, a U.S. Army biological warfare scientist who was unknowingly dosed with LSD at a work retreat. A few days later, he fell to his death from a hotel window. The CIA ruled his death a suicide, but his family always believed he was murdered. Decades later, a congressional investigation revealed the truth about the LSD dosing, but the full circumstances of his death remain a mystery. Another prominent victim was Dr. Donald Ewan Cameron's patients in Montreal. These were people who sought psychiatric help for common ailments like depression and anxiety. Instead, they were subjected to de-patterning and psychic driving, leaving them with a profound and permanent loss of memory, personality, and identity. In 1988, some of these victims were finally compensated by the U.S. government, but the damage to their lives was irreversible. The exposure and cover-up. MKUltra's reign of terror came to an abrupt end in 1973. In the wake of the Watergate scandal, the CIA became concerned that their illegal activities might be exposed. The director of the CIA at the time, Richard Helms, ordered that all records of Project MKUltra be destroyed. The order was carried out, and for a few years, it seemed that the CIA's dark secret was safe. But in 1975, the truth began to emerge. A congressional investigation, known as the Church Committee, uncovered a small number of financial documents related to the project that had been mistakenly misfiled and not destroyed. These documents provided the first public glimpse into the true scale and nature of MKUltra. The revelations shocked the nation, leading to public outrage and a second investigation, the Rockefeller Commission. These investigations, hampered by the destruction of the bulk of the documents, confirmed that the CIA had engaged in widespread, illegal, and unethical human experimentation. They revealed that the CIA had used unsuspecting American and Canadian citizens as test subjects, and that their research was aimed at developing mind control techniques. The government was forced to apologize and offer compensation to some of the victims. However, many questions remain unanswered. The destruction of the records means we may never know the true scope of the project, the full list of its victims, or the exact details of all the experiments that were conducted. The surviving documents offer only a partial and chilling picture of a government program that went rogue in its obsessive quest to control the human mind. The legacy of MKUltra is a dark one. It's a reminder of the dangers of unchecked government power and the ethical lines that can be crossed in the name of national security. The program may have officially ended in 1973, but its effects continue to haunt its victims and their families to this day. The secret CIA program that could control your mind was not a work of science fiction. It was a real, horrifying chapter in American history, a secret that was nearly lost forever. Our channel is 100% focused on stories like this, providing you with valuable information the media hides from you. Please, so you don't miss videos like this, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It helps our work a lot.